Over the last decade, a quiet revolution has taken place on the firing lines of America. From casual plinkers to top-tier competitors, the number of recreational and competitive shooters has surged to unprecedented levels. And behind much of this momentum stands a name synonymous with shooting sports for over a century: Winchester. With innovation, reliability, and accessibility at the core of its mission, Winchester ammunition has not only fueled the boom, it's helped shape a new era of marksmanship. This episode, we dive into how one iconic brand has empowered a family from Wisconsin in their quest for success, how it's driven the evolution of sport shooting through the mission of Shoot United, and how their support has amplified a movement for shooters across the country.
For us, because he is better than us. I mean, it's hard as a parent, you don't want to sound like the bragging parent, but he is one of the best shooters in the world. When he's the last 2 rifle world shoots that we've competed in, he's been the top placing US shooter. He's, a grandmaster in pistol, all that, he's good. So it's easy to say, all right, you go tell us what we're gonna work on, because you're obviously doing things right and you're seeing things that we probably aren't seeing.
I guess there's a lot to pay attention to while someone's shooting. I mean, it's kind of the same as with any sport. You're doing things from watching targets to watching how the gun behaves to watching just how their arms are acting, how their wrists are moving, whether or not their toes are lifting off the ground when they're shooting or there's too much weight on their heels, stuff like that. There are all these little things that you can coach them on based off of how they're moving throughout recoil, and there's so many different things you can gather from watching it.
Did you shoot twice? No.
I shot twice, I hit it.
No, I'm saying the hole was elongated.
Oh. It's because it's moving so fast.
Super fast.
That's how fast the swinger is. It elongates the hole as the bullet passes through it.
You're such a dork.
So when we're shooting together at an event, at a match, usually you have a squad order. So you have a squad of maybe 7 to 15 people. It depends on the size of the event. But you'll keep that order, and you just drop a person every time. And so we'll try to separate, oftentimes because we're sharing gear.
Inevitably, 1 out of the 5 of us is going to be first. So not only does that person try to do their best during that course of fire. They also try to scope out what's actually going on in the course and if there's any problems in any of the stage plans that we came up with. Any things like wind calls on long range, stuff like that, where you're saying, hey, you might want to watch this target. Either it was really difficult to see under pressure, maybe the light has changed, something like that. Little things where even though they messed up, you don't want to have the 4 other people in your team or in your family mess up on the same thing.
One of the neatest and most challenging things about competitive shooting is that you're really competing against yourself. There's a huge mental component to what we do. You might be able to go, set up a drill outside and practice it 100 times, and then you go and you have to perform, you have to deliver. And so kind of conquering yourself in a way and your own, maybe your inhibition, your fear, your whatever's going on in your head that day, or whatever challenge you've been facing, you have to kind of put that all aside and go do what you're going to do.
Let's say time 77:51.
Nice job.
I like just is particularly in practical shooting how there's so much thought that has to go into each course of fire before you shoot it, and you plan out every step, every turn, where you're going to shoot each target from, the order that you shoot the targets. There's exponentially more planning involved in order to pull off this perfect execution that you're working towards. Quality ammo is something that it at least needs to be at your level or higher. If your ammunition isn't accurate, well, how are you going to do in a shooting competition? You need to make sure that you're pairing the right ammunition with your weapon and that it's capable of doing what you need it to do.
The USA Ready ammo, it is making power factor in 40 for our guns, which is pretty awesome. Part of the success is that you figure out what ammo is it that I need to use and what ammo is going to run my gun. Sometimes shotguns especially can be picky about what ammo they like, and it's one of the reasons that match ammo for shotguns is AA's.
The Winchester ammo we use has been very accurate and always reliable, so that when there is a problem, you know that you need to look somewhere else.
4092, shotgun is clear.
I'm so proud to see everybody out there and shooting and competing, and now especially that they're older, everybody pretty much operates on their own. They don't need a lot of help, don't need a lot of advice.
Anything you do in life that you want to do well, you have to put some work into it. And shooting is the same, but seeing them take that and kind of own it, that makes me feel good inside.
It's more of a peer relationship while we are out there competing. And I think that's something that very few people ever experience with their children, to where we're both at about the same level and we're having this very frank discussion about how something should be done.
You're going to want to prop up the higher. It's going to go a little bit that way.
But high, I'm talking right now, I'm getting the elevation.
You're okay shooting into the ground?
What?
You're okay shooting into the ground? Just go with one. One's okay.
We can have different opinions, conflicting, and I think that's something very unique to this kind of sport we're doing and the level that we're shooting at.
Seeing what the boys have done with the opportunities they've had, it makes me, it can't help. I think as an adult, as a parent, you can't help but feel good about it.
I've told them many times, in the end, the key is hard work. And if you're not willing to work hard, then you're probably not going to be successful. By and large, there's too many people that go around and want everything to be handed to them, and they're not willing to put any work to get it. And it's like, all you need to do is get your foot in the door and then just work your ass off, and then you're gonna do well wherever you are.
Anything you do in life that you want to do well, you have to put some work into it. And shooting is the same. But seeing them take that and kind of own it, that makes me feel good inside.
Winchester Life is brought to you by Winchester Repeating Arms, Walker's Ear and Eye Protection, Birchwood Casey, Winchester Safes. Folds of Honor, Winchester Pet. White Flyer, America's Best. And by Winchester Ammunition, the American legend. This segment of Winchester Life is brought to you by Winchester Ammunition, the American legend, and by Winchester Repeating Arms.
For the completely uninitiated who have never held a gun, owned a gun, or gone to the range, there's a lot that you probably have questions about. Helping you find answers and sharing information with you is why we're here. With upwards of 60 million people participating in shooting sports, there are several different lanes to choose from when it comes to the types of shooting. Some of the common lanes people are in are recreation, shooting for the sake of enjoying time outdoors with those in the community doing something fun. Personal safety. This can even be broken down into firearms and tactics used for personal safety for yourself, but also understanding firearm safety for youth, families, and communities. Competition. Shooting competitions help you improve your skills, set goals, and use your firearm in a very safe, controlled environment while sharing the camaraderie of participating in a sport. Hunting. Bringing healthy, sustainable, natural food to your table and managing natural resources might be where your interests lie. Picking a lane doesn't mean you have to stay there. Maybe your lane changes from recreating with firearms as a way to unwind to understanding the responsibility that comes with owning a firearm for personal safety. If your goal is just to learn about firearm safety, and finding local classes and events, even searching national organizations, can be an on-ramp for your lane. You can even find free events at local clubs, ranges, and gun shops. There are organizations whose goal is just to teach safety. Project Child Safe even offers free tools that you can obtain from locations across the country. If you're excited about the idea of competing, then finding a class geared towards competition might be your on-ramp. Following up with observing a local match and watching the process, meeting people, learning what gear you need. The next step could be renting guns at a local range so you can learn what you might want to buy. Maybe you're brand new to the world of shooting and your goal is to be safe and enjoy the outdoors. Recreational shooting with friends and family is a low-stress, go-at-your-own-pace activity that could be your lane. Perhaps teaching your children where food comes from or how it's our job to responsibly steward natural resources is something you're drawn to. Your on-ramp might be hunter education class. Some states offer special mentored hunting seasons where you can go with an experienced hunter to understand if this is your lane. Shooting is a lifetime sport. There are different activities, different lanes that you can travel down and merge in and out as you go. But the first step on this journey is safety and the local, state, and federal laws where we live. Any route you choose should begin by packing your mind with some information about safety and rules, then finding those other people in your lane that you want to go out and adventure with. Make shooting sports a part of your life, and let's all shoot united.
So I want to talk to you guys today about competitive shooting and the different disciplines and avenues that you can take. So I got started through my father, and I wanted to initially just go along with my dad and do something, fun and also be competitive at the same time. And when I used to just go out with him at the local gun club and I would just press buttons, after a while you get tired of that, right? You want to pick up the gun yourself and start seeing if, you can compete with that. And that's what I did. And it gave me not only, a purpose that translated into better grades in school for me. I think that was because it gave me a purpose in life and it made me focus, and that trickled into everything else that I did with my life. And now, 15 years into the competitive side of the game, I travel all around the world and I meet, tons of different people from all kinds of different backgrounds. And it's just given me a life, that I never expected, but I stayed focused. I had a goal, and I'm still chasing that goal and dream to this day. So everyone's goal is different. Mine was to try and get to the top of the game and to remain there and win as many competitions as I could. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's the avenue that everyone needs to go down. You can go on the local level and compete, little tournaments with, your son, your daughter, your wife, or your buddies. I wanted to take it all the way to the top and compete at a world-class level. And that has opened so many doors for me, whether that's sponsorship opportunities or just meeting good people that you can have lifelong friendships with. And that's what this game offers, not just a career, but a lifestyle.
This segment of Winchester Life is brought to you by Walkers, Birchwood Casey, and by Winchester Safes.
Winchester recently acquired White Flyer targets, which they are the #1 target used in sporting clays, and Winchester is the #1 shot shell used by sporting clay shooters. So why wouldn't that be a great fit?
White Flyer was established in 1892, and we are the world leader of clay targets. We have clay targets for trap, skeet, sporting clays, and international shooting.
We were interested in White Flyer because of the position that they have in the market, and they build the best clay target out there.
White Flyer has two lines of targets. We have the traditional pitch target that has been around since the late 1800s, as well as the blackout line. White Flyer offers rabbits, bat 2s, middies or 90s, our Pro 70, and 60 millimeter targets.
Here at Nationals, we shoot all White Flyer targets, and when we get these weather changes with lighting changes in the sky, we get some dark backgrounds, we get some light backgrounds. White Flyer provides a multitude of colored targets. They provide orange top, orange dome, all black, all orange, along with different sizes. So your target setters are always trying to give you the most visibility out of the target so that everybody has a fair chance at shooting it, and White Flyer provides plenty of different colors for those target setters to throw.
White Flyer has been the target of choice for the NSSA and NSCA for many, many years now. They're a great partner. They do special runs of targets for our national championship, for our World Skeet Shooting Championship. They have done just a tremendous job, and like Winchester, they have been a part of this from the beginning. They are always willing to help out the association on a national and a local level.
The relationship with the NSCA is extremely important. We've been great partners with them. They support us, we support them, and we can't wait for what the future has to bring.
Winchester's invested heavily into the NSCA, not only from an ammunition standpoint, but now from a target standpoint. So we are highly committed to make sure this organization is successful, and we will continue to drive growth as much as we possibly can to this great sport.
Three-gun is the most fun you can have with firearms. I can't even say or talk about three-gun without a huge smile on my face. It is generally the funnest shooting sport that there is. I've done things like shoot out of a parked airplane or be pulled in a trailer while shooting shotgun on the move. All right, but let me rewind a little bit. So what is three-gun? You have a pistol, a rifle, and a shotgun. You're generally not carrying more than one gun at any time, with the exception of sometimes having a slung empty rifle on your back. But you'll shoot with one gun, you'll dump it, you'll ground it safely, you'll pick up another gun. And you're not shooting all 3 guns on the same stage necessarily. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. You can still have a shotgun only stage, but it just means that in this match, you'll use all 3 guns. 3-gun matches are generally a little different than handgun matches. In handgun matches, a course of fire might take 10 seconds to 30 seconds on average, and in 3-gun, a course of fire might take 1 minute to 4 minutes. At 4 minutes, it doesn't sound like much, but it's really, when you are under stress and got so many things running through your mind, it feels like an eternity. Also, 3-gun matches are generally longer courses of fire with a lot more movement. Generally, 3-gun matches are on bigger courses, and so you're navigating up hills or through terrain, possibly through the woods, and you just have to have so much more on your mind, paying attention to so many more things. 3 times as many things, actually. There are so many challenges in 3-gun, and that's why I love it.
As the sun sets on ranges across the country, one thing is clear. The rise of recreation and competitive shooting isn't just a trend, it's a movement. And at the heart of this movement is Winchester. Through its groundbreaking Shoot United initiative, Winchester has broken down barriers, welcomed new voices, and built a bridge between tradition and the future of shooting sports. It's not just about ammunition. It's about the access, education, and the community. Winchester isn't just supplying the rounds, it's igniting a nationwide passion. A catalyst for growth, a force for unity. And for millions of Americans, the first step towards the trigger starts with one trusted name.